Ladies and gentlemen, before we continue, we would like to thank our official partners, Bet365, Everlast, Village Hotels, and Wow Hydrate. Following this press conference, we will have a media scrum for all non-broadcast media, as well as a round table for all written media. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the names on the marquee Saturday evening at the O2 Arena here in London. The main event, 10 rounds for the undisputed women's middleweight championships of the world. The United States of America versus the United Kingdom. For this press conference, please welcome back first on stage the head of boxing development for Sky Sports, Mr. Adam Smith, as well as the CEO and presenter of this event, a boxer, Mr. Ben Shalom. I would also like to introduce the promoter on Claressa Shields' side, the head of Salida Promotions, Mr. Dimitri Salida. And finally, joining us on stage as well is Savannah Marshall's coach, Mr. Peter Fury. And now introducing the two halves of this historic main event of the first ever all-female card in the United Kingdom. First, from Hartlepool, England, the undefeated and two-time Olympian, the reigning, defending WBO women's middleweight champion, Savannah, the silent assassin, Marshall. And her opponent, she comes to us from Flint, Michigan, in the United States of America, introducing the undefeated, two-time Olympic gold medalist and the reigning, defending WBA, WBC, IBF, and Ring Magazine women's middleweight champion. She is known around the world as the GWOAT, the greatest woman of all time. Please welcome Claressa Shields. Adam Smith, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Big Mo. Finally, we are here. 2 more sleeps to go ahead of the question we've waited a decade for the answer. Who is the greatest middleweight on the planet? It's a massive event, a magical clash for the undisputed treasure, pitting these extraordinary women together. To my right, the GWOAT, Claressa Shields, multiple gold medal winner, multiple world title champion, one of America's biggest role models. And on the other side, the pride of our Northeast, Britain's silent assassin, the world amateur champion, the only conqueror of Claressa Shields, the powerful Savannah Marshall, who's in the form of her life as a world champion. There's passion, there's needle, there's elite skills, and no one can pick a winner. Ben, it's got everything.
We're finally here, guys. It's been a long 12 months getting to this position. It's been 10 years for both of these athletes and both of these women. I want to thank Dimitri Salida and Mark Taffet, who've been incredible to work with, incredible promoters of Claressa Shields, and Mick Hennessy and Peter Fury with Savannah Marshall. We've worked hard on it because we believed there was something special. We all knew it. We all felt it. We knew it had to get done. We knew it had to be done. What thing that really stands out is these two women not only are achieving their own dreams on Saturday night, but are achieving women's boxing's dreams, which was to be taken seriously, which was to stand on its own 2 feet, which was to not be propped up by men's fights and heavyweight fights, but to sell out an O2 themselves. And it's an incredible feat. When these two turned over, women's boxing wasn't like this. They turned over because they loved the sport, because they had a passion for the sport, because they were uniquely talented. They're about to create a pathway for girls in gyms all around the country and all in the US because of what's happening on Saturday night. And I couldn't be more proud of both of them. I think what Claressa Shields has done in the US, when we look back in 10 years, in 20 years, in 30 years, the battles that she's had to come through will go down in absolute history. And Savannah Marshall has done it a different way, and she has become a superstar in her own right in the UK and had to knock down barriers both within herself and outside of herself, and she is now one of the most feared female fighters on the planet. I can't wait. I'm so thankful to even be part of this historic event, and I really believe that Saturday night will change the sport forever.
I will go to the teams shortly, but I want to bring the women in first of all. Claressa, welcome back. We saw you in Cardiff. It was magnetic, really, with the red slippers and the performance, defending your title and getting ready for this moment. We had you back in Newcastle, slightly more hostile maybe, but it happens now in London, in the capital. You've got great memories of this place from the Olympics in 2012, also an Olympic gold medalist in Rio. Where would this sit if you win on Saturday night in all your experiences and successes so far?
Oh, Adam, how cute. When I win on Saturday night. It's going to be, it's going to be a great victory for me. I know that this isn't my first undisputed fight. This isn't my first time having a very, very hard training camp and being the underdog. This isn't my first time. I've done this numerous of times, and I've come out on top every time. It's going to feel good to just kind of quiet all the doubters about, this knockout power and the lack of my skill and the lack of my accomplishments or whatever the case may be, because, I've never seen something like this in boxing before. Not the all-women's card, because that's magnificent. But someone who lives off of an amateur win for 10 years. God. I mean, sometimes I think about it and I'm like, it's like they're trying to erase everything I've done in the past 10 years, because I have been dominant in boxing for a decade. Since I was 17. I didn't win the Olympics and then just have a terrible career. It was like, I won the Olympics, I won it again, I turned pro, I won titles, and it's just like, wow, that's still not enough for you guys. Okay. So I'm here to fight against who UK considers the best. I'm here to fight against who UK considers the knockout puncher, right? And I'm here to show you guys that I am a very special talent, that champions are not made, they're born, and that I was born to do this. So that's why I'm here. I'm happy to be here with the naysayers and the doubters and the fans. I love you guys. It's going to be a great show. And you'll all be fans after.
Claressa, when Big Mo introduced Savannah, there was applause. There was respectful applause from you. So there is respect for Savannah Marshall, but there's been a lot of needle. There's been a lot of words. Where are we with that? We've seen the gloves are off. We've seen all the build-up. What do you think of her now? I'm
2-0 and all of that. 2-0 in the press conference, 2-0 gloves and off. Gonna be 3-0 Saturday. But as far as Savannah Marshall, the thing is that people write out narratives and they just try to paint me out to be the villain because I'm more vocal. But I've ran into Savannah Marshall plenty of times at the Mayweather gym, in London. I've always been cordial. But how can you be cordial with somebody who try to come at you talking about they'll knock you out in 2 minutes and 2 rounds and they'll do this and you're not better than them. You just got to the belts before them, like trying to discredit me. So that's where it all started. It didn't just start from, oh, she beat me in the amateurs, I just hate her guts. No. If you watch my T-Rex documentary after she won the world championships, which solidified me a spot in the Olympics to get the wild card, I walked up to her and said, thank you. Because if she would have done terrible in that tournament, I wouldn't have made it to the Olympics. So there is no hate for her. There is no hate. Do I dislike the things that she say? Yes. Do I respect her as a fighter? Sure, but don't paint it out like I'm the one who started the whole mess. That's not true. After I beat up Emma Cozen, she's the one ringside talking about something. If you fight that way against May, I'm going to wipe the floor with you. What the heck? I mean, it just caught me so off guard because it was like, I would never say that to somebody after they fought. So I just was like, oh, dang. I thought it'd be like, hey, congrats. You won your fight. You're getting close to a fight with me and you. You crossed the pond to come over here and challenge me. It just was no respect from her. But then everybody wants me to accept that and be like, oh, my God, yeah, Savannah, you're right. So that just blew me. So I don't hate Savannah Marshall. This moment is here because of me and her. She's done a great job promoting herself off of me, talking about the win, bringing it up all the time. But I've put in more hard work, and the accomplishments show that because this ain't even all 12 of my belts, but I got 12 titles compared to 1 in over 5 years. So I'm just here to show that, look, I'm the best, and you give respect when respect is given. So if she don't respect me, don't expect me to respect her. That's all.
Savannah, do you respect Claressa Shields? You certainly lit a fuse in Cardiff. This has been 10 years of really waiting for the opportunity to show or try and show that you are the best and that you will become undisputed. Is it all part of a plan, or is it natural that you don't like her and you don't have that much respect for her?
No, of course I have respect for Claressa. I've always had respect for Claressa. What she doesn't like is that I've got an opinion. That is what she doesn't like. I sat and watched the box in Cardiff and I thought it was diabolical. And she didn't like that I told her that. That's what she got upset over.
And you thought that it was a diabolical performance, and that means that you go into this, you believe, as favourite to stop her and inflict the first professional defeat on Claressa Shields and do what you did in the amateurs 10 years ago.
Yeah, I did think it was a diabolical performance. You know, she'd rammed down people's throats, that she was this, that she was that. We were going to see this spectacular knockout. Sat there for 10 rounds, drifted off. And we didn't see nothing.
You didn't even answer the man's question.
What was the second question?
Are you going to knock me out? You said it was a diabolical performance, unanimous decision, but against another undefeated fighter. But are you, Savannah Marshall, going to knock out Claressa Shields?
I've been asked this for the past 12 weeks, and I've never once said I'm going to knock you out. I said I'm going to hurt you, and I will.
Are you going to knock me out? Yes or no?
I'm going to hurt you, and I will.
Yeah, we still don't have an answer.
Well, we'll see when you wake up on the canvas. I'll ask you then. Have I knocked you out? And you can answer it then?
Listen here. I don't know why you think you so big and so strong, but you're not. All this facade, you knocking out these bums. I'm sorry. It's not even fazing me. It's actually comical. And you know what? You would be a fool to come in there and stand there in my face in a boxing ring, and your best bet is to try to box and move. You stand there with me, you gonna be the one sleep.
Oh,
you gonna sleep.
12 lasses
you gonna be sleep because you're not stronger than me. You're not stronger than me. I had a whole different game plan for Emma than you. I'm not worried about you.
Jesus, well, I haven't seen how different in 12
One
fights.
belt.
Tell you what, I'll be impressed if you do something different. I'll tell you that.
Guess what?
Well,
I put in 11 weeks for this camp just to show you.
Well, I put in 12.
You're not about to get in there and walk through me. You're not about to walk through me. Stop it. You're gonna walk through. I can't wait to after the fight, because all I want you to say is, Claressa, you may have a big mouth, but you back it up every time. That's what I want you to say after the fight. And you know what? You be hating on my chain. You be hating on it, but guess what? I bet you this chain that you don't win the fight.
Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll just take the belts. I'll just have the belts.
You're not going to have the belts.
I don't want no chain. I don't want that.
Put $35,000 of your purse.
Well, I don't know what you're over there, but I'd be taking that right back.
What you just said?
I'd be taking that right back. You've been all over spending $35,000.
You want to be the GWOAT. You want to have a chain.
Oh, I know. Thank you.
You want to be the GWOAT. You want to have a chain. You want to be me. You want to have the belts. You want the Olympic gold medals. You want it, right?
No,
yes, you do.
Oh
my God, who doesn't want to win the Olympics for their country?
Hey, where your gold medals at? Hey, you want this chain? You want my belts? No, thank you.
It's a valid question.
Huh?
It's a valid question.
Where your gold medals at, huh? You got opinion? Oh, I hate you a hater.
It doesn't matter, because everybody has opinions.
You what?
Everybody has opinions.
That's what you don't like. Anyone who's got an opinion against you.
I don't like
you
that.
You don't like.
No, I don't like that.
Because
you are a hater.
You're nothing but a bully.
No.
That's what you are.
I'm a bully?
You're a bully. I'm a bully?
Whoa.
Yeah, you are. That's what you are. You're a
I
bully.
swear, that's the first time I've ever heard that one. I'm confident.
Good, you want to be. You need
You lack confidence. Lots of it, and always have, and always will. And guess
We'll
what?
see.
If on
Come
Saturday,
we'll see come Saturday when I'm stepping
Saturday,
over
you better believe every word you're saying, because I'm about to put you through hell.
Good, that's what
I
I'm
don't
praying for.
believe it.
If I don't
I
get the
believe
best
it. I
version
ain't
of
even gotta
Claressa,
talk no more
I'll be
because
disappointed. If I get
I ain't
that
gotta
Claressa
talk no
that
more. I
turned
ain't
up in
even talk to her.
Cardiff.
You about to take a L. 12-1 on the way.
Yeah, don't you know?
12-1 on the way.
12-1 on the way. No more GWOAT.
12-1
No
on
more
the way.
GWOAT.
Yeah. Yep.
Savannah, what will it mean to you? You don't want the chain if you win. What will it mean to you to become the undisputed champion on Saturday night after everything you've been through, the ups and downs of the boxing career and journey?
It'll mean everything. It'll mean all the blood, sweat and tears. Everything that I've went through, it'll all be worthwhile.
And you believe it will happen. This is your moment of destiny.
It does happen, Adam. It does happen.
Let's just bring in the teams for a slight respite. Mark Taffet and Dimitri Salita, welcome. Great to have you both with us. Mark, I know that you've had a close relationship as a manager of Claressa, and you've told us for a long, long time what a special woman she is, not just in the boxing ring, but for the whole of America. You must be very proud that she's come over to London on such a defining night for sport here.
Back in April of 1991, when Bob Arum and I worked on Vander Holyfield versus George Foreman, believe me, this is not something we thought we would see during our careers. And it is an honor, it is a privilege, it's a humbling, very emotional moment, and it's because these women have worked so hard. Claressa Shields carries the entire sport of women's boxing on her broad shoulders, and I've always said that. She cares more about women's sports and women's boxing succeeding than she does about her own succeeding. People have said, is this the biggest fight of her life? If you know anything about Claressa Shields, what you will know is life has been the biggest fight of Claressa Shields' life. Boxing is what she does, but life has been her biggest challenge. She has come up aces. She has not just survived, but she has thrived. She's a special, transcendental woman. She's a figure like Billie Jean King, like Muhammad Ali, that people will look back on someday and say that woman changed everything for many of us. I'm so proud to be with her, and I know what she's going to do Saturday night because I watched Floyd Mayweather, I watched Roy Jones, and I put Claressa Shields right there in my top three, skill-wise. She's an amazing, incredible person who happens to put boxing gloves on. And come Saturday night, the world's going to see that. So I love her. I wish her the best. My 12-year-old grandson said to me last night, Grandpa, is it going to be better than Taylor Serrano and Michaela against Hamadouche? When a 12-year-old boy says that in the United States, you know we're on our way to something great. So I wish everybody the best Saturday night, and we're here for something special.
Yeah, lovely words, Mark. Echo all of that. And Dimitri, again, as Claressa's promoter, welcome back. Obviously, we've got a long history together, and it's fantastic to have you as part of Team Shields. And again, you know the magnitude of these sort of moments, don't you, in boxing?
This is a great event, and I'm very grateful to Sky and to Boxer to be able to bring us all together. The GWOAT of promoters, Mr. Bob Arum, is participating in this card. Marshall Kaufman, Matchroom, so many great promoters coming together, and what a great example you guys set. People working together to make the biggest and the best fights. And it's quite ironic that the women are on top of this and are driving the boat to make this happen. So this is going to be a fantastic event. I'm very grateful and honored to be here. I just want to say a couple of things about what Savannah said and Claressa said. Claressa has made history every one of her fights. Her fourth professional fight, she fought for the world title. Then she fought the number one contender. She's fought Hannah Gabriel. She's fought Christina Hammer. She's fought some of the biggest and the best fights leading up to this. Savannah Marshall has fought opponents. So she's looked good against girls that are opponents. So there's levels to fighting fighters that come to win and fighting opponents. And when Savannah gets into the ring with Claressa Shields, she's going to experience things that she's never experienced before, from a boxing point of view. So people can say here whatever they want to say, but when you get into the ring, once the footwork starts and the jab starts and the punches starts and the defense and the offense, she's going to be in a situation where she's never been before. And I saw the documentary that you guys did leading up to the fight. This is nothing like singing Colors of the Rainbow. Claressa Shields is a whole different story. She's come with all the smoke, as they say, in the United States. And it's going to be a great night of boxing, and Claressa's hand is going to be raised.
Talk about it.
Thanks, Dimitri. Peter Fury, one of our great trainers and the man that has done so much for Savannah Marshall over the last few years. They're coming with all the smoke. They believe they've been with elite fighters and Savannah's been in with opponents. What's your reaction to that? And how does your fine lady win on Saturday night?
Smoke don't win fights. That's number one. Listen, I've listened to a lot of crap in this build-up. I've listened to some positive stuff. And look, it doesn't mean people's vying for an edge. I tell you what, the way everybody's speaking here now, we should all, me and Savannah, get our suitcase and run home. And not turn up Saturday. It's all shit to me, this. I think what we've got to look at is the realistic. Savannah fought opponents. Savannah's fought 1, 2 people. Claressa's fought, dispatched them. So we'll fight anybody. Savannah will fight anybody. That's why Claressa's here. But look, I'm a little bit different. I'm going to give Claressa all the credit in the world. Like I said, double Olympian, come over here to London to prove she's the best. This is what real world champions do. So I will never criticise a fighter because obviously I ain't in there fighting myself. I'm a trainer. But basically, she needs all the respect, all the accolades. Will Savannah lose confidence? Is Savannah the best fighter she's ever been in the ring with? Yes, she is. Is that going to be the case Saturday? Yes, that's going to be the case. So, on talent-wise, we'll see who the best is. This is why we're here. We ain't got a crystal ball. This is a 50-50 fight. I've always said it is. But look, I'm silently confident in Savannah's ability. She's a powerhouse, natural powerhouse. There's a difference. She's not a stiff thing looking to land a big shot where she's going to get outboxed, slip and slided, countered. You're dreaming if you think that's going to happen here. At the end of the day, we've prepared for a toe-to-toe slugfest, a run-around-the-ring boxing match, whatever it is, because I work on the downsides. And the good thing is, with Savannah being such a high-level athlete, she's been able to adapt to all these different scenarios. Like I always say, you've got one iron in the fire, which is a domestic shit fighter. Yeah? Let's look at it on a world level. And then you've got fighters with 12 irons in the fire who can change up, change the tactics on the spur of the minute, adapt. And when them 12 irons run out, what does it come to? It comes down to heart, guts, and having a fight. And that's what Savannah has done in a camp. She's sparred with a lot of middleweights and world-level middleweights as well, in males, I'll say that. And at the end of the day, there's been blood, snot, she's been hurt in them spars, carried on, done another 5, 6, 3 rounds, 4 rounds, coming to the corner, wiping the blood off her face. This is a serious job. She took this deadly serious, which also is respect to Claressa Shields, because no way she underestimated. No way am I going to put this girl down. She's a fabulous fighter. And I want to finish off and say what a great event for women's boxing this is. It's magnificent. And without the right dance partner between these two, we wouldn't be here today. It's a terrific undercard, and I'm very happy to be a part of it. And thanks to Boxer, thanks to Sky Sports, Mick Hennessy of Hennessy Sports. Without these in the background, none of this would be possible. And thanks to Salita, his team, Mark Taffet, respect to everybody. But you know what? Let's get Saturday and let's have a fight. That's what I'm interested in. And may the best woman win.
Peter, I want to jump in here real quick. And all the respect to you. You're a tremendous boxing guy, one of the best in the world, and you've done a tremendous job with Savannah. Is Savannah the best fighter Claressa fought? Maybe. But if she is, maybe just a little level above Christina Hammer and above Hannah Gabriels. But over
Dimitri,
there,
I'm sorry, that's absolute rubbish.
Hold on a second. Be quiet.
It's absolute
Just be
rubbish.
quiet. Just let me finish. However, no, listen. But for Savannah, it's 7 levels. Savannah's never fought anybody close to Clarissa's level, so it's going to be many different levels. Maybe Savannah is the best fighter that Clarissa's fought, but it's close to the elite fighters. She's dealt with difficulties. Savannah has never dealt with difficulties. She's very dominant, and she's looked very good with your help. With your training, she got significantly better, and I believe that you know boxing as good as anybody. And there's levels to this, as they say. So Claressa is a different planet. And for Savannah, maybe she's the best.
I will say this.
With all due respect.
Yeah, with all the respect to you as well. I've been around the world in boxing, yeah, and I've had people say, your fight is crap. Even the commentary said to me once, yeah, not mentioning no names here, big fight. Hey, give him 3 or 4 rounds, his gas will run out, he'll get knocked out. I said, you lot are pissed. Yeah? I said, he'll take your fighter to school, right? Hence, that's history, become a world champion. I've heard all this before. I've heard it many times. It's up to me to guide my fighter. And when I come to listen to what opposition says, when Savannah comes to listen to what opposition says, pack it up and leave, because never let anybody tell you or put you down. You are what you are. Everybody's got a pair of arms and a pair of legs. Let's see on Saturday night.
That's just Saturday night.
Yeah, Dimitri, acting like I'm trying to sit in the middle, but acting like this is any sort of formality is absolutely ridiculous. There's a reason Savannah stopped girls that Claressa hasn't. There's a reason Savannah's in this position. There's a reason why this fight is in London. There's a reason why she's knocked out power. She's shown knockout power that we've never seen in the sport before. And there's a reason why this fight is so big, because clearly a lot of people do believe Savannah is going to win this fight.
I agree with you. This is a great, true rivalry, the first one for women's boxing, and it's tremendous that you've been able to put it together and that we work together to make this happen, for sure. However, objectively, if you talk about the athletic skills, Savannah is a very good fighter, and I have a lot of respect for her and what she's accomplished. And again, Peter Fury has added so much to her team. However, there's levels to this, as they say.
It's either you've beaten the best or you haven't. That's what it is, Ben.
Yeah, the problem is, Ben, from a boxing's point of view, is that when you fight opponents, they come to win, maybe, but after a little bit of trouble, they want to survive. Claressa has fought girls from the beginning of her career that are coming there to win, that felt that they're the best, and that's the difference. And when Savannah is going to deal with that type of adversary, we don't know how she's going to react.
Opponents that get in the ring with Savannah, when they're hit for the first time, they do try and survive, because it's like something they've never experienced before.
3 weeks notice.
Their opponents, Ben. It's a big
3 days
difference.
notice.
Why is she stopping girls that Claressa's taken 10 rounds?
Because she fought them 4 years after. Stop it.
10 rounds.
4 years after. Stop it.
How many of you stopped Claressa? And I respect you greater than anyone.
I fought against world champs, and guess what? If you would have given me the opponent that's 11-75, 3-25, you want me to go to Box Rec and read off her opponent's records? I would knock them out too. But when you're going against champions who are 21-0, 18 knockouts, girls who are former world champions, 16-0, 9 knockouts, which I did knock that one out. But when you're going against those kind of opponents early in your career, your 4th fight, your 5th fight, your 6th fight, I was just getting warmed up. So don't talk like I ain't no big puncher, because I am. And you're going to find that out Saturday, because clearly you don't respect you don't respect me either, because of how you was talking shit after I beat up Emma Cozen. So therefore, you can keep thinking all this talk about this, Savannah Marshall, knock out this, knock out that, but anybody can knock out tomato cans and bums. You can't knock out world champs.
I'll tell you
That's hard to do in women's boxing.
I'll tell you what I will say.
With the 2 minutes.
I would like to just add this. I think everybody in the division that both of them fought are crap. Yeah? And that's why both of them's here, because these are the only 2 best. These are the only 2 diamonds in a sack of shit. So basically, that's where we are. So let's not sit and say, we fought this, we fought that, because they're all no good. Yeah? This is why we're here. These are 2 elite fighters. Let's get it on and see who the best is in this division.
Absolutely
because
not.
There's nobody else in it.
That's not agreed. No. Because when you went to 168, and then you went to 160, and then you went to 154, within those 3 weight classes, there were some hell of a great women fighters. So I'm not just gonna put Savannah Marshall on the top and just say, oh, she was better than all of them by extremely. Savannah Marshall was good. Savannah Marshall is a bigger girl, but We're not finna sit here and say that the girls at 154, the girls at 160, and the girls at
Can we mute
168 was
now,
trash. That's not.
Can we mute- turn
That's
the mic
not
off.
true.
Is she the
That's
best?
not
Is
true.
she the best opponent you've ever faced?
No, she's not.
She's not.
No, she's not.
Who is?
Christina Hammer is the best opponent that I fought.
Come Saturday, Savannah Marshall will be.
Okay, you're gonna see. You're gonna be a second edition of Christina Hammer.
Oh,
Well, no.
I hope you're not relying on that. I
Whatever
box
you
nothing
just
like
said,
Christina
okay.
Hammer.
Whatever you just said, okay. You won. You won the talk today. Good job.
Guys, let's throw it to the floor. A couple of questions from the floor for the ladies, please. Anyone there?
Hi, I'm Rob Harding from the Undisputed. There will be an Undisputed champion come Saturday night. Claressa, you have constantly referred to Savannah not having the power to actually defeat you. Now, Savannah has got the higher knockout ratio between the two of you. I'm not going to dwell on that, but what I would like to ask you is you've said in a previous press conference that speed is power, and you've emphasized the speed that you have and obviously the technical ability and the class that you have. How have you approached and worked through your training camp? Has it been to focus primarily on speed or actually to match Savannah's knockout power?
We actually work to do both. You know, I'm not ever going to abandon my abilities, which is my hand speed, my offense, my defense, and my IQ. But also, too, we have worked up in every fight to always enhance my power. And the thing is that I don't think that I lack power. I think that when it comes to calming down and placing shots, that it's an art, you know, and it's an art that sometimes I just don't be seeing in fights. I hurt all the girls that I fight, and I mark them up or whatever, and I've even dropped some. But it's just like when it comes to, you know, winning unanimous decisions, and once you in the ring for 7 rounds and you box the girl head off, it's kind of hard to switch the mindset to, okay, now knock her out. But we've been working in camp to have that mindset throughout rounds 1 and 10. You know, rounds 1 through 10 to keep the mindset of looking for the shots that hurt and being able to recognize when to go for the kill and just how to calm down. And that's what we've been working on for 11 weeks. And we worked on it before the Emma Cozen fight too. But this fight is just like stuff that was supposed to click on last camp finally makes sense this camp. So it just takes like a little bit of hard work and a little bit of extra doing. But we put in over 100 rounds of sparring for this camp. So we shall see what happens when we go in there.
So is your speed going to be your power?
My speed is never going to leave. I'm not ever going to abandon that. I'm going to be fast, powerful, smart, defensively responsible, offensively responsible. And I'm going to adapt to whatever I have to adapt to. But I will come out victorious in this fight, whether it's a knockout or whether I school another girl 10 rounds. It doesn't matter to me.
And I want to add to that. Savannah is a big puncher. She's a very good puncher for women's boxing. Mm-hmm. But we've never seen what happens when she gets hit, because she hasn't fought anybody that was willing to engage with her. So that's going to be a big question. And for Savannah to be able to answer those questions from not being able to deal with that type of adversary, as Claressa has had with Hannah Gabriels, with Christina Hammer, and with others, that's the big question. And that's why the fight is going to be so interesting, and that's why I feel that Claressa is so superior. And I want to give a big gratitude and shout out to John David Jackson and Gerald Tucker, who have prepared Claressa fantastically for this fight.
Agreed.
Gareth?
Gareth A. Davis, Daily Telegraph, TalkSport. Can I ask the promoters, first of all, is there a rematch clause in this fight?
There is, but I think both fighters expect everything will be dealt with on September the 10th. Clarissa's got MMA obligations that she needs to look after. Savannah wants to become undisputed at 2 different weight divisions. So there is, but let's see what happens. It would have to be a close fight.
Yeah, so if you've got a controversial decision, but there is an option open to you both, would you both take the fight afterwards if you felt like you won the wrong end of a controversial decision?
Are you asking me that?
I'm asking you, madam, yes.
Oh, what did you ask? You said
But,
what?
but if you lost the fight, if and when you lost the fight on Saturday night, but you
she's
felt
not
you
gonna
won it
answer that
clearly on
question that
points,
way.
and it was controversial, would you take a second fight?
Oh, you say is it a rematch clause?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you saying would I take a rematch? Why would you take a fight with somebody once and then not take it with them twice? It doesn't really matter. It's still a fight. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's on both our ends. So when I win, you know, if she wants a rematch, when I have a rematch, it doesn't matter.
Gareth, let me just say this. You can have every clause you want in every contract you want.
It don't matter.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. If the public wants to see these two women fight again after Saturday night, that is the reason it would happen. That's why they're all in it. So the public will tell us whether or not there's a rematch.
Thank you.
And this shows what women's boxing has grown to, that there is interest in a rematch in this significant and fantastic fight.
Radio Raheem, for a fighter to get to this level, each fighter has had a moment in the ring where they've had to call on something to overcome adversity, be it from another fighter or inside themselves. I'm just curious, from each fighter, when that moment comes, when you really have to dig deep and bite down, what do you call on? What is your inspiration to win the fight and be better than you've ever been?
I don't think about it, I just do it. It's just instinct kicks in. And that's when I start going in the trenches and digging deep.
For me, thinking about my fights, I just have a no quit attitude. That's it. You know, I think that putting in the hard work and just the training, I don't. As much as everybody would love to go in there and just have like a unanimous decision and beat girls up and not have it be competitive, I never think that the fight's going to go that way. I always think that girls come 110% prepared to get the upset over me, and I mean, you just kind of take it with what you can, because I've been cut in fights, I've been headbutted in fights, I've been dropped in fights, and still been able to come out on top. So I just remember, like, when I got dropped, I looked at the ground on both sides, and I said, what the hell are we doing down here? And then I got up, I took a deep breath, and I said, I'm ready to rumble. I'm ready to do this. And I just put my chin down, I bit on my mouth guard, and I went to work. And that's just how I am really just throughout my whole life. You know, if something is hard or something is difficult, I just kind of bite down and just keep pushing through.
One more? Thank you.
Rack Noble from Boxing UK. Savannah, if you are successful over Claressa on Saturday, will you take on her GWOAT moniker nickname as you have defeated the greatest female?
No, I will not. I'll put that out there. I don't want no one sending me jewellery, no one sending me clothes with that spread it all over. No, I don't want nothing to do with that.
And Claressa, for you, if you are successful over Savannah on Saturday, where will she rank amongst the greatest fighters that you have fought so far in the ring?
We have to see after Saturday. We have to see where she would rank. You know, I think with her having a great amateur pedigree and her being in the amateurs as long as she was, she kind of trumps a few of the girls that I fought already. But it's some world champions who I've been in there with who were extremely strong, extremely skilled, with plenty of knockouts and just great athletic ability. And I don't know where hers stand compared to them. But we will see after Saturday.
Claressa, finally, last message to Savannah. What happens Saturday night at the O2?
I'll see you Saturday, and just keep my belt warm for me.
Savannah?
I'll see you Saturday. The clock's ticking, 2 more days till I become undisputed middleweight champion of the world.
It's all set, Ben. I'll leave you with the last word.
Yeah, I think finally, thank you to Claressa Shields for coming over here. She really is an icon in women's boxing. But anyone that says they can predict this fight is wrong. It's a complete 50-50. No one can predict it. No one knows when it's going to end. And that's what makes this so special. Thank you to everyone. This will be broadcast in over 100 countries on Saturday night. There's only £25 tickets left. We're going to have a full arena at the O2. And what a special night with an all-women's card. Thank you.
Thanks very much, guys. A super stage on Saturday night, and Claressa and Savannah will pose down here for the head-to-head and interviews afterwards. We wish both of them the very best. Thank you for making it happen.
Well, I don't know about you lot at home watching, but we very much enjoyed that. I'm sure you did. I think Matt and Johnny, that there should have been some little bags of popcorn laid out on the seats in here. It was you couldn't want to miss. You didn't want to miss that.
Certainly knew how to grab everybody's attention.
Yeah.
I think everybody had something to say up there. Even the promoter Ben Shalom, even though he was one that's got to show that he's supposed to be impartial, he had to defend Claressa, because Clarissa's happy. Savannah's happy to just sit back and let everybody else do the talking, and I kind of like that. Even though sometimes you think, oh, you could have hit back there, but she feels she doesn't have to. When the bell goes, that's her job.
I think she did, Johnny. Or don't you, Matt? I think Savannah gave as good as she got today. She was giving out the impressions just as much as Claressa was.
Yeah, she didn't get drawn in, did she? She gave her a bit and then sat back.
Yeah, she wasn't as vocal, but she picked her punches.
Which is exactly what you want to do. Out of interest, who did win the battle of the impressions?
I don't know. It was pretty evenly matched. I thought. Look, Clarissa's more outspoken. Savannah's more quiet. She's got better. She's got more confident over the last year, 18 months. But personalities, they're different, aren't they?
Yeah, and you've got to remember, every time these two become face to face or in the same room, and it comes to talking, you've got to lean towards Claressa, because she has the character. She has that's something that makes her stand out, that makes people talk about her, that makes people want to see her win or lose. So she's that fight. She's that character out of these two. But she's got to back it up. When the bell goes, she's got to back it up. And so far, she's backed it up as a professional, which is why she's holding 5 belts, because she can back up the bow so far.
Is there a danger, I mean, with the level of back and forth between these two, the rivalry that goes back many, many years, 10 years in the making, this fight, that the emotions could get the better of them on Saturday?
I don't think so. I think regardless of any needle or bad blood, you can see there's a lot of respect there. So I think both of them will be completely focused. They've got good training teams with them, and they'll be focused on the tactics, the game plan, and staying cool in the fire. It's got to be calm in the madness, and both of them are consummate professionals, very experienced, long in the tooth now. I don't think either of them will get distracted.
It's a really interesting partnership between Savannah and Peter Fury. It's a relationship that they don't really say a lot, do they, the two of them? But they have that understanding, and it's something that really works, doesn't it?
Well, listen to Peter. You can tell he's a no-nonsense kind of guy, and that is clearly rubbed off onto Savannah as well. She's a no-nonsense kind of fighter now. She doesn't need to say things that just don't need to be said. Things that can be said in a sentence. She's not going to take a paragraph, take a whole page to do it. She just gets on with it. She's not influenced by what you, I, or the public say. She's influenced by what she's capable of doing. So in doing that, she's morphing into Peter.
This is a very intense face-off, Matt. I mean, neither fighter wants to budge there.
No, it's brilliant though, isn't it? You look at the turnout here, look at the excitement, everyone chatting. We don't know who's going to win. It's opinions are divided. These what the best and the biggest fights are all about.
Even better.
You go Ben Shalom, a little up and down look there.
So looking forward to this fight.